So hi everyone, welcome to TISOH Presents The Big Reset, featuring national speaker and radical mentor, Cindy Novotny. My name is Anthony Lai, and I am the Student Affairs Program Manager for the International School of Hospitality, also known as TISOH. To open the presentation, I would like to introduce TISOH Executive Director, Timothy Lamb, as he will share a brief message on behalf of the school to the TISOH Spring 2020 graduates. Tim?
Great. Thank you, Anthony. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, a special welcome to our dear hospitality colleagues with us today. We are very happy to have you join us. And to the TISOH students, alum, and especially our graduates, a warm hello and welcome to you all. I'd like to give a special shout out to our faculty with us today. Pat Norman, Lenny Tallarico, Eden Verre, Gabriella Cody, Rebecca Stebbins, Cheryl Scovio, and Advisory Board Member Marty Weiner. And if I've missed somebody, I apologize. This afternoon's talk was conceived as a special event for our graduates this semester. We would have been celebrating them at the 44th TISOH graduation ceremony and reception. Instead, we have to celebrate them in August at our next graduation event, pending government approval. Today's talk is dedicated to the graduates in celebration and honor of their hard work and achievement. This week, in fact, just yesterday, was TISOH's 15th anniversary. We as a community have grown to over 3,000 strong, and we celebrate a unique brand of dreams, passions, and careers. To the very wonderful and very inspirational Cindy Novotny, we are super honored and thrilled to have you at this event today. Thank you for your generosity. And now I would like to invite Lenny Tallarico, CHE, CSEP, to say a few words to the graduates on behalf of the faculty. Lenny?
Thank you, Tim. Hello, everyone. Today, it's a thrill to be here for this graduation and for our ability to connect with one another. For our students and for our graduates, I tell you that today really is a milestone. You are all a step closer to your dreams, and soon you will be reaping the fruits and the rewards from all of your hard work. When you look back on this day, as unusual as it is, it should remind you of just how far you've come, but that was not by chance, that was by choice. I do want to always let you in on the big secret now. And you should have figured this out, but the secret is a commitment to learning something new every day. That is truly the key to success. A very dear professor and friend of mine for years always said, never stop learning. Keep trying, keep accomplishing, and keep venturing through your personal journey, no matter what obstacles you face. The best way to start each day is to wake up, believe in your dreams, and know without a doubt that you were made for great things and that anything is possible. All you have to do is work hard and believe in yourself. What I'll ask each and every one of you is to never forget along that journey to stop for some reflection, enjoy the moments, and enjoy the accomplishments along the way. On behalf of the entire faculty of TISOH, I want to congratulate you on this tremendous accomplishment. It's become almost a tradition for me to use the ancient quote that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, you're embarking on this journey with a strong foundation. The best practices that have been instilled by our instructors and by faculty. And that tells me that each of you is well on your way to becoming the future leaders in our industry. I want to close today with a quote from Maya Angelou, which says, people will forget what you said, forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That is what hospitality is all about. So wishing you all the best, good luck, and congratulations to you on this fantastic day. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you, Lenny. Before we begin the presentation, I'd like to share with you about our speaker, Cindy Novotny. So who is Cindy? A radical mentor for many, Cindy's straightforward, no-nonsense leadership approach delivers results and changes behavior. She is the managing partner for Master Connection Associates, an international leading training and consulting firm specializing in sales, customer service, leadership, and professional coaching. Prior to her current role, Cindy worked at notable hospitality organizations, including the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and the Westin Resorts. Recently, Cindy was recognized by the Association for Talent and Development as one of the 9 most powerful, innovative, and passionate speakers in the industry. Also, Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International awarded Cindy the 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award in Hospitality for her exemplary contribution to our industry sector. We invited Cindy to present our webinar, The Big Reset, so all of you can spend a short hour to find the answer to that question and to reset, rebuild, and regain your professional confidence going forward. To everyone in the audience, please turn off any sound and turn to mute status. If you have a question during the presentation, please utilize the chat feature and we'll get them answered accordingly. Also, to help out with the speed of the Zoom presentation, if all of you can go ahead and go to stop video. And last but not least, switch to speaker view so you can see Cindy and the entire presentation. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over the webinar to our speaker, Cindy Novotny.
Thank you so much. And again, congratulations to all of you who have graduated. I am all about education. I'm all about learning, and I'm all about the hospitality industry. Many of you on this webinar right now do know me. Some of you have never seen me in your life, but I will tell you, I have been in the hospitality industry my entire career. Lenny and I were chatting just before everybody got on about how long ago I was with him and working, at Mandalay Bay training, and we were both children at that time. So when I think about the fact that many of you on this particular call have absolutely worked so hard to get to where you are in graduating. Others on this call right now have decided to continue to stay in the education mode by just joining because this was opened up to so many people. I have Mary Hannah from my team who is also on the webinar. She will be watching the chat box. I really do love questions during this entire time. We will open it up for questions and take, about 15 minutes. But I always feel that if you have questions on something I say, then go right ahead and say it and ask me now. Because if I was on stage, it would be a totally different deal. And I would be walking through the audience and hugging you and just having the time of my life. And this is a little bit different. So with that, let me just say that when you look at how to reset and how to reboot, that's what we say all the time. When anyone's graduating from any school, any university, moving into a new career, we always say, you're going to reset, you're going to reboot, you're going to refocus. Well, there couldn't be a better time than right now to have the mentality that I personally, meaning you, are going to reset. And the resetting that we have to do is up here. This has been an unprecedented situation. The world closed, the whole world closed for renovation, and we all are getting ready to open for a grand opening. And there will be a grand opening in our future. I promise you that. I also have a restaurant. I'm partners in a restaurant here in Orange County, in fact, with Mary's uncle. I was there this afternoon for a few hours, and we're, painting and doing a bunch of things to get ready. We're hoping May 15th we're going to be able to open, but we won't be able to open at our regular capacity. And everybody knows that, but we have been doing very well in takeout. So it's a steakhouse that is a fine dining restaurant that is not typically into takeout. Well, we pivoted in 3 days. We also reset. We are looking at opening with a coffee shop, which was Dave's original restaurant that he had. So when you look at how you have to reset, it's not how you have to change your personality. It's not how you change you are. It's not that you're going to change, I'm getting out of this industry. Hospitality strong, Vegas strong, okay? That's who we all are. This is in our heart. The one thing you can never do to any of us in this industry is take our heart out of this. And when you think about it, we have all been knocked down, but we all have the fortitude to get up. You know, somebody said to me today, you know, this isn't the end of the movie. This is just intermission. And I thought to myself, yeah, now it's been a little long intermission for me. I think I've eaten a little bit more than popcorn. But I promise you that the ability to go out there and move forward, whether you are in this business, you've been in this business for years, whether you're younger and you just started, whether you just graduated with a new, you know, kind of new career path, whether it's in events or catering or whatever it might be in the hospitality industry, the motivation to be innovative right now has never been more clear. You know, I actually think we all go back to zero when the rules change, and the rules have fundamentally changed completely. But the game is still there. They just took the rules and made it a little harder for us. You know what I mean? I'm not really into video games or anything, but I was talking to my nephew who's 9, and he said to me, you know, every time you get at that level, then they move it up and they make it a little harder to that level. And then you get to that level. And I thought to myself, that's what the world's doing to us. Everything was going along just peachy. And then bam, overnight, we all had to start over. So when you think about innovation, what does that look like for some of you? You know, lots of people, many people that are listening right now have been furloughed. Some people have been laid off. Some people have switched careers. Some people I know quit their job right before this happened to be able to go into something else. And then, you know, all bets were off. So you have to decide right here and right now. And Lenny said this in his opening. It is how people will remember you. Okay? How you handle this crisis and how you act during it, and the energy, the education, the commitment, the volunteering, the working with other people will define you as you come out of it. You know, I actually think that I hate a crisis. I don't know anyone who does, but I do believe that many of us on this call have been through other crises. Vegas has been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. I think back and I think to myself of all the things in my years that I've been through. The only real difference here is this particular crisis is the championship of global hospitality. Lots of businesses have been affected, but if you look globally at ours, it's been affected in a huge way. You know, even getting some of the PPPs and the, you know, the payroll protection plan as a restaurateur, getting that means you have to use that money in 2 weeks. Well, I mean, 2 months. Well, how do you use that money in 2 months when you can't even bring your employees back because you don't even know if you're going to open and what day are you going to open? So there's no rule book on this. And there's no one that has ever been there before us. So when I think about the fact that it's the championship of leadership and strength, it really is. You know, if you also think about the fact that many of you have been through dark hours, we all have in our life, whether it was at business, whether it was, you know, where we lived, what we've been through. Sometimes if you look back to that, the story of your darkest hour, it gives you the real kind of grit to be able to say, I actually thought that was really, really bad. You know, when that happened, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to get through it. And yet you did. So when I look at coming out of this, and we will come out of this, every one of you will get a job. I promise you. You know, we're doing a webinar on Friday for people that were laid off. We thought maybe 25, 35 people would sign up. There's like 300 people that signed up because a lot of people that have been laid off have been in their jobs for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They hadn't updated their resumes. They hadn't looked at their LinkedIn profiles. So I am going to share with you a few tips about what you do need to do, because the longer we go through this and the less you are connected to the industry, the harder it is to stay relevant. And that's what you have to do. You have to basically say, this has been a wake-up call for me. And now I've graduated from this course and these schools and got this degree and I'm doing this. So what am I going to actually change? What am I going to pivot? You know, for some of you, it may be, I'm going to be much more present on social media. Because I know a lot of people before this, and I am a consummate salesperson, and I'm older than most of the young people that work for me, and I can assure you, I had better social media presence than some of the young ones. And I would hear people, oh, I just don't have time. I don't want to be on it. I don't like to have my personal things. So in a little bit, I'm going to have Mary Hannah from our team just give you a few tips on that, because it is what we're doing right now. This is part of our new world. Do I want to Zoom for the rest of my life? No. Do I want to not go into a hotel? No. I will be the first one on a plane, and we've already got trainers leaving in 2 weeks to go to states that are open with our clients. Mexico started to open. We've got clients down there that have already said, okay, let's get going. Will I be that first person in line? Yes. But this is where fear breeds fear and calm breeds calm. I am 100% optimistic that we are going to come out of this better than we went in it. It's actually made us all take a step back and say, what is important to me? What do I value? What do I need to change? How do I need to look at the future of what I want to do? Was I really, really dedicated in my last job? You know, there is a today team and a tomorrow team, and I believe that. And I've had it in my own team. We've had it in the restaurant. People that have been with us a very long time, but when this all happened, did not show the grit, did not show the fortitude, did not show the positivity to be able to go forward. I've talked to people in our industry that have been negative and have said it out loud, have put it on social media. Travel advisors, people in the hotel industry that have said, I don't think I'll ever get on another plane. I don't know how you could ever say that if you're in the travel. If you're in hospitality, whether it's restaurants, hotels, catering, venues, how do you say that? If you're going to say that, you're probably in the wrong field. And that's where the heart of hospitality comes through. This is what makes the difference. We all are strong. And we all know that the winner in life, forget COVID, okay? And I can't wait till we never say it again. The winner will be the one that has a plan, that knows exactly what they want and how they're going to get there. You know, I've always positioned myself as somebody who knows very little. And I think this is very important. And that as I'm talking to alum, as I'm talking to people that have just graduated, I think that the rest of your life, regardless of how young or old you are listening, you always should position yourself as somebody who knows very little, because therefore you'll learn a lot. Because I know a lot of know-it-alls, don't you? Oh, I mean, they're everywhere. Every time you turn around, you see a know-it-all that says, you know, oh, I went to this great restaurant. Oh, I went there. Oh, I saw this movie. Oh, I saw it. Oh, I read this book. I read it. Wow. Who wants to talk to somebody like that? So when you position yourself as a curious individual, you will be blown away at what you learn. You will be amazed at the things that you see and that you hear. You know, the other thing is that traditional hospitality is going to emerge in a different way. And I'll tell you why. We don't enjoy this, and we want to check people in, and we want to go to a table and open a bottle of wine, and we want to be able to hug a customer that we've worked with for a long time. This is going to emerge. But here is another message. There will be some vigilante consumers. We already had vigilante consumers. Have you met them? Are you kidding me? You know, they're the ones that when I'm checking somebody in and the airline lost their luggage, they're mad at me. I didn't even fly the plane. I didn't lose the luggage and they're blaming me. Well, here's the difference. Now, because our industry really reached out and everybody in the world supported it, Takeout Tuesday, support your local restaurants, do what you can to help the hospitality community. When our customers, our guests come back, they are going to expect the smile. Even if I'm wearing a mask, you can see the smile in my eyes. There will be no time for that negative, bad attitude person, and they will be identified like that. And that is one thing that we have seen positive come out of this. Because I have had people say to me, I should have paid attention to the feedback. I should have paid attention to the signs. I wasn't a good team player. I didn't really try extra to go that extra mile. And now I've been put back to zero. You know, some people are sitting back in their easy chair, getting unemployment, and that only lasts a certain amount of time too, by the way. And then when everything starts to open up, because right now it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to come back because I'm getting unemployment. I'm making more money than I made if I came back to work. Well, when that soon ends, then everybody will want to come back to work. Here's the difference. It is truly the employee that has the fortitude to say, here's what I want to be able to do. Here's what I didn't do well when I worked for you before. And here's what I've learned through this. I have seen people turn the other cheek like you can't believe. I've been actually so excited. I've seen clients. So I have clients that, bless them, weren't the nicest people in the world. Don't you know some people like this? But they were clients. The customer may not always be right, but they're never wrong because they're the customer. I have seen those same customers now say, I really want to thank you for everything you've done. I want to thank you for how you've helped us. They've become my best friends. And that's because we are emerging as true traditional hospitality professionals. We don't want to emerge as the deal guy. We don't want to lower prices. We don't want to come to market with good deals. We want to come in like we left off. This was pre-COVID. This is post. Right now we're here, okay? There's a gap. I get it. We want to be able to close that gap and just continue. Now, the thing is, there will be customers that think, well, there should be a deal. But it's really important, whatever business you are in this hospitality arena, that you really, really listen to me. It is not about lowering prices. It is not about giving away a deal. You also have to remember that the optimism I'm talking about, I've had people say to me, well, I think you're just too optimistic. I mean, they've said that to me. And I said, well, that's fine. Because I think you're one of the most negative people I ever met. You were negative before COVID. And they're like, oh, I said, no, you were. You're negative. Okay, you always were negative. But now, no one had the guts to tell you. But now you told me I'm too positive, so I'm going to give you the honest truth that I think you were too negative before. One of the things I have really taken pride in is that nobody ever sees me sweat. But I sweat. Are you kidding me? I have a very small business, 40 people. I've had to keep trying to pay our people that are on our corporate team. I'm helping keep the restaurant going. I have trainers that have been furloughed, that are not making any money, that are still engaging in calls and talking and helping us figure out ways to get through that. So here's where I suggest you write a value proposition for yourself. You say, okay, I've just graduated, or I'm on this call and I didn't go to school. I was just invited and I didn't just graduate. What value do I bring personally to the marketplace? What value do I bring to my company? What value do I bring to a potential employer? Maybe I'm not working right now. What value will I bring if I'm going to go back to my existing job that I might have been furloughed from? What value do I bring? Now, the value proposition has to be supported with action steps. A lot of people are so full of hot air. I know you know them. Just, oh, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. Show me. Show me. Put it in actions. Say, here's what I bring to our team. And here are the 10 action steps that I want to put in place. This is what I believe I can do for you. It's also a time, and I said this earlier, not to go dark. So engaging with your current clients. Dave, our partner in the restaurant, and I just talked about reaching out to all of our VIPs that, that literally support us, that come to the restaurant 3 and 4 times a week. We know that when we open, we're going to have limited seating. We're not going to be able to let people just stay in there and hang out like they used to and just order another drink and another drink, because we got to keep moving people through. So we're planning all of our communication. We've stayed very much engaged with them with all the takeout, but we want to make sure that these clients and these guests know what some of our preparation plans are. So again, whatever business you're going back to, even if you think about it, I think about myself. When I was a server and I was a bartender, I love being a bartender. It's one of my most favorite jobs in the world. I will tell you right now, even on social media, positivity, putting things out about the new cocktails that we're doing and the new fun, supporting a restaurant that maybe I'm not even working at right now, but I know I'll be going back. That is what gives you that deliberate and thoughtful connection with the customer out there that's going to actually pay for you down the road. Now, if you are in business or you're listening to me and you're in any sales capacity on this call, you have to have about 100 touch points a week. And we're not exaggerating. These can be in sharing LinkedIn stories, in posting different things on social media, which Mary will touch on. These could be on commenting on articles, calling a client, and actually saying to a customer, you know, I know that there's nothing for us to talk about right now but each other. And not just, how are you? Because you know what the answer will be? Well, how are you? I'm the same as you. I haven't colored my hair. I haven't left the house. I've cooked for 2 months straight. That's going to be the same message. But if you say, let's talk about how you're going to pivot. What are the changes you're going to make? How is your business? Even if you have nothing to do with their business, but they've been a client of yours. Listen to people. Take notes. Listen to their stories. These stories are amazing. And what we'll be able to do with those stories is use them in the future. You know, one of the things that I believe is that personal brand. So, you know, when I was talking with Tim, we spoke about the fact that your personal brand has a lot to do with how you're valued. You know, when you look at your LinkedIn profile, how many views? It should be going up by thousands are you getting? But if you're not seeing that a lot of people are looking at you, it's because you're not present. Building your personal brand means you are present. Now, I want to back up again and have you look in the mirror. And believe me, I've looked in the mirror every day. And then I look at these webinars every day and I look at like, can't wait to get the haircut. I feel like Rapunzel. Okay, so here's the thing. I love to look in the mirror and say, honestly, what do you need to change to be better tomorrow than you were today? Your past success guarantees you nothing when the rules change. I do this all the time. I'm constantly asking my team. And my team is giving honest feedback. We don't want to do that. We need to do that. You need to change that. Don't say that. So when you let yourself go dark, when no one sees you, when you're not present, then people forget you and you don't build that personal brand. You know, I also believe in being a little scrappy, professionally scrappy. You got to fight for what you want. And how you fight for what you want is you're fighting for that next job, that next promotion. You're fighting for that next venture capitalist who might invest in your business and the great idea. There's going to be incredible ideas that start to come out of this. You know, I just talked to a friend of mine who works in a spa, and she said, oh my gosh, there's a gentleman that has just created an incredible new, you know, type of a machine that can literally, you know, sanitize the whole room immediately as we turn these rooms. I mean, there's going to be winners and there's going to be people that make a lot of money because they're clever and they're always thinking. I also think that what you need to do as a graduate and as anybody else listening to this is to look at your fresh perspective. You know, what has this time really given you? I mean, again, I've heard people say, oh, it's a gift. You know, it's given us a gift. It's given us time to sit back and reflect. Well, I don't really want this. I don't like the gift that keeps on giving. Okay. I really want this to kind of come to an end. We've had the gift long enough. But what it has done is it's allowed the cream to rise to the top. And you are that cream. You are the people that have invested in yourself. You have invested in continuing education. Even being a part of this webinar shows that you understand what being a champion is all about. So what I want to do is I want to take just a few minutes and have Mary Hannah from our team just highlight a few of the important essential bits of social media that you need to really take a look at in order to be present as I'm talking about, because now is the perfect time, because now we're going into a shorter amount of time before we really start to see things open up. So Mary, if you take just a few minutes on that, I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much, Cindy, and congratulations to you all. Again, I'm Mary Hannah from Master Connection Associates. So a couple of things, again, that Cindy just said, and what's really important is to stay connected to the industry, to continue to nurture those relationships. And so having a presence on social media is very critical during this time. So regardless of what your position is, regardless if, again, you've been laid off or furloughed or trying to find a job, there's a few things on social media that you can be doing in order to stay very connected again to the industry and kind of work on your personal brand. So specifically on LinkedIn, there's a couple of things that you can do in order to meet in a logarithm on LinkedIn to get more views, as well as when people are searching, where your name will pop up first. And one thing that's very important is you have to be posting one post every single day. And it would also be recommended to post this sometime in the morning. So sometime in between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., because that's when the most active users are on LinkedIn. If you're posting in the later afternoon and the evening, you're probably not going to be getting as many views. So what can you be posting about? I mean, Cindy just said, sharing a little bit about your fresh perspective, share things that you learned within your classes, sharing industry news. And again, if you want to be sharing anything about travel and tourism and positivity out there, or leadership and business, those are some things that can get you some traction. In addition, specifically on LinkedIn, this is also about engagement. So LinkedIn says that to meet these logarithms, in order to get noticed more, you have to actually be commenting on your network's post. And when you comment on these posts, it has to be at least 5 words or more. So you can't use the automated responses. You can't just click the easy button of thank you for sharing that article. So you do have to say, thank you for sharing that article. I really appreciated the tip about how to introduce myself since I've been laid off. So really commenting a little bit more robustly. And it would be recommended to at least comment on 5 to 10 posts every single day. Now, the same thing with Instagram and Facebook. Same thing, 1 post a day. And what can you be posting about? Your destinations, making cocktails, anything that would be relevant to your audience. But this should be about travel and tourism and meetings and events and all the great things that you're doing. So when you are posting, you can follow this kind of rule of there's kind of 3 things that you can post about. One is to inform people. The second is to inspire them. And the third is to entertain, because people want to be entertained at this time. I would also recommend that you do post some videos. These can be videos of yourself, videos of, again, your destination or anything that you're doing. And we're seeing that these videos, and they're calling them ugly videos, but really these are just videos made on your iPhone that are more authentic than those perfect curated videos, are actually getting a lot of traction. So I'd encourage you to use those videos when, again, you're posting, Instagram Live, any of those kind of different tools. I'd also just be remiss, as Cindy had mentioned, we are putting together a webinar right now, actually on Friday, if you want to join, for laid off individuals. And as I'm looking at some of these individuals who are on LinkedIn, and even people that connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm always amazed when people don't have a great background photo, a really strong summary. So it would be recommended, again, to think a little bit more about that kind of summary, what you're actually putting out on LinkedIn in terms of your own personal profile there. So those are a couple of things that you can do in order to stay up to date with social media. And Casey, I'll go ahead and put my email here into the chat box. And if you send me an email, I can go ahead and forward you the invite for the webinar.
And I just put one in for somebody else. So it is Mary Hannah at masterconnection.com, and we will be on that on Friday. So as Mary just mentioned, the connection and the connectivity is really, really important. And the consumer, you have to know, and we've been on, this is probably, I don't know, our 70th, and we might be at 72 now, webinar that we've conducted, let alone all the ones that we go on and listen. I've been on panels with travel advisors, with hoteliers from all over the world. I have been on with restaurants. So we do know that there is so much out there that we are able to share. So some of the things that we have been very much engaged on is the consumer behavior. And this is important for all of you in Vegas to listen to, because people are really wanting to spend money. I know we're not, and you might be thinking, I'm not, I haven't made any money. I get it, I'm not either. This is the first time, 2 months, there's nada, other than food, okay, bam. It's not about that. It's about the fact that when things start opening and the economy starts going, people will start working. They want to be entertained. They want to go to a restaurant. They want to go have a cocktail. They want to sit outside. The heat in the summer in Vegas will be the most positive thing you have going for you, because everybody knows that this virus doesn't do good in heat. It's been talked about from every medical professional from sea to shining sea. And we also know, because we were on a webinar with travel executives that said the #1 place that people want to go is sun and sand. You got the sun. Some of those resorts have a little bit of sand. It is, that's where they want to go. No one has said we want to head off to, you know, the middle of a city. Then secondly, it is outside, you know, mountains and doing things, and you've got that too. So you have to begin to start to say, okay, I've got to be creative about some of the things that we can do. So depending on who you are listening, get together with your team. If you've been furloughed, email from your Gmail account your boss, because furloughed is different than laid off. You've been furloughed, say, I'd love to have a volunteer call where you get us all on the phone. It doesn't mean we're asking you have to do it. Nobody's going to get paid to do it. We get all that. But be the leader. Don't just wait for that VP of food and beverage or that director of rooms or whoever it might be to call you. You reach out and say, I've got some creative ideas that I think I could share. The other thing about hospitality, it's about the stories and the heritage. People are really thinking about dreaming. You know, when anybody plans a trip or anybody plans a wedding or a meeting or an event, a summit, there's 3 steps that go into it. One is the anticipation, getting ready, excited. This is going to happen. Number 2 is the actual experience, right? And right now we're not going through number 2. We got a lot of ones pent up. But number 3 is the memories. So think about all the memories you could be posting. Think about the pictures. Think about, you know, all the things that you've done and putting pictures about Las Vegas or the restaurant you worked in or the hotel you worked in or the sun setting over the mountains. This is what people want to see. They don't want to care about politics. They don't want to care about negativity. They don't want to care about your take on COVID. No jokes about this. Everyone's over it. What they want to see is light at the end of the tunnel. In addition, what is in today's news is going to become textbook case studies. And I want to be a part of writing that. And mine's going to be about the positive outlook. I believe that a positive vision of the future is as important as the vitamin D and sunshine to keep us safe. I also believe that today is the chance to write our own paper. Today's your chance. You've graduated. Some of you are on this between jobs. This is your chance to write your own paper. This is also your chance to know that you and I and everyone will be judged more than ever right now. And that, I'm telling you, is no kidding. I have friends I can't even talk to right now. I finally said to them, you know what? I love you, mean it. Call me in August because I cannot take any more. I've done my best, but you can only pull somebody along. You know, a trick you want to do is you want to see that you can't really push people to do anything. You have to really lead them. And if you take a string and you lay it on a table, just take a string and literally push it, it'll all clump up. But put your finger on the end of the string and pull it, and it goes in a straight line and follows you. We need leaders, and leaders don't have titles. Forget that. We have no titles in our company. Anybody can be whatever they want. They make up their titles. I love it. VP in charge of this and that. And during COVID, I mean, they've all given themselves new titles. I'm VP of communication, whatever. It doesn't matter. Titles, it's not about titles. You see, a leader is the person that will help build the brand image. And some of you, it's your own brand that you have to build. You also have to remember that COVID is going to, for a while, change the way people spend, how they buy, how they engage, how they interact. It definitely is going to change some of that. We know that and we're just going with 50-50. 50% of the people out there are going to say, I'm not going to even go out. I'm not going to do anything until there's a vaccine, until we have more testing. I know that. I'm 50% that says I'm going out, like let me out. let me out. I want to kick my feet in the sand. I want to go to the beach. I mean, there's some good things that come out of the ocean that are good for us. Yeah, we breathe it. Just look it up. It's a positive thing. You see, there's 50% of us that aren't going to want to go and aren't going to go. And it's okay. It's okay. And there's people at risk. My parents are 85 and 86. They're not going to go until they really know we've got testing and things. My sister, she's younger than me, but she has heart issues. There are people at genuine risk, people that have asthma. That is not about I'm scared. That's that they have health risks. But what you have to do is look at our business for those that choose to go. Because the people that are going to choose to come to the hotel, to the casino, to the restaurant, to the amusement park, to the water park, have chosen to have an experience. And as a person working there in any capacity, I've got to deliver that experience. And for a while, it may be with a mask, but I've got to learn to talk louder through the mask. I've got to learn to smile with my eyes. I've got to learn that hands mean a lot. I got to be able to do this. It's like jazz man. You know what I mean? Like, come on in, because they won't see this, but they'll see this. You know, to me, experiences are the key, and they're way more important than service. But because we haven't had experiences for so long, service is going to matter. So as we come out of COVID and we adjust our marketing, we adjust the fact that we know business is going to come back locally first. And that's, again, good news. Because locally for you is also LA. Drive market, all good. We then know it'll become more regional. We then know it'll become much more domestic for the whole US before it goes international. Vegas is a perfect opportunity for that. We also know that it is steps that we're going to take in these phases. So it's not just phase one of how we're opening it. We all have gone through steps. First, there was compassion. First, we all went into, oh my gosh, compassion. Then we started to get clarity, and we started to understand, here's what I've got to do. Then we all started communicating via Zoom. And the more we communicated, the more we felt better. But now we are into certainty. I am certain as I sit here, I wish I was standing here and speak to you, that we will come out of this, and we will come out of it better than we went in. But you have to have the grit personally to refocus. Refocus right now. Get off this call. When we get off, I want you to write that list. Here's the 10 steps of how I bring value. Refocus. I want you to retool. That's what this is all about. This is about continuing education. This is about really investing in yourself, and congratulations because you did. But now I want you to retool. I want you to take what you learned. I don't want those books to go up on the shelf. I want you to go back and revisit it. I then want you to come out of the trenches so that you can rebound. I promise you, as I stand here, we are the heart of hospitality, and people buy from people. They don't buy from robots. They'll never want to buy. Remember, only a year ago, we were nervous that artificial intelligence was going to take our jobs. Well, now, human to human, H to H is more important. There is no wandering. There is no drifting. There is only taking what you have earned and going forward with a smile on your face, with positivity in your heart, and the ability to make a difference like nobody else. So with that, I want to say congratulations one more time. I want to go ahead, turn it back to Anthony. We do want to open up the chat box. We want to answer any questions you have. And please know, we are always here for you. So Anthony, over to you.
Thank you, Cindy. That was an amazing presentation. I mean, right now I'm going on my phone and trying to go on my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, any social media that I can, just to engage with all of our good people and most importantly, be positive. So we have 15 minutes left. We'll go ahead and start with a Q&A.
Great information. With regard to the commenting, with regard to the posting, does that also mean sharing, or it actually is you must be keystroking in their comments? So does sharing help in any way?
Go ahead. I'll let you answer that, Mary.
Yes, so of course sharing can be included in your one post a day. However, what we do see is that when people reshare things, they don't actually write a robust comment. So some people just reshare and say, this is a good read. I would encourage you to share, if somebody posts a good read or a good article, when you are resharing that, you're saying, this is a great article and these were the 3 reasons why, or these were my 3 takeaways. It doesn't have to be too long, but you have to actually be posting, again, robustly. So sometimes when I see people reshare, sometimes they don't even comment, or they just say, this is good. Well, what did you think was good about it, essentially?
Okay. Fair enough. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Of course.
And some of the other things on the sharing I might add is that if you currently aren't engaged in social media, and the algorithms and all of that are important, but then you're not actually seeing the thousands of information that's coming. And the more you actually start to see that, the ideas, some of the things we're sharing with you are just like light bulbs go off, because you read something and you think to yourself, holy cow, that is amazing. So I don't share an article just by the headline of it. I do read it, because sometimes some of the articles, if after you read it, you're like, no, that I don't really agree with that. Okay, so it's good.
Good stuff. Cool.
And one other thing also, just about when you are posting, so some of you, if you're graduating, you don't represent a company or organization. This is where, again, if you're reading Hotel News Now and Skift and any of those publications, those are some really great articles to share. So we do have a couple of questions here.
Okay.
So for those of us furloughed, would you recommend job searching or staying positive and trusting that our jobs will be there? We can start.
All right, let me answer that one. So, all right, I'm a firm believer that I'm hoping you work for some wonderful person who's going to bring you back. But unfortunately, I'm not going to sit here and say I trust them all. So my suggestion is that you do look at that LinkedIn profile and you update it. It doesn't have to say I increased revenue by this and this and this. So one of the things that you have to know, and we're going to go over this on our webinar into detail, is that you've got to say why you're good. That's the value proposition on LinkedIn. That shows I handle this market segment. I'm a specialist in entertainment. I do this, whatever. And it's a little bit of brag, but it's not, I increase rev power by 40% and I reduce costs by that. No, it doesn't even matter, okay? You got to show where you bring value. So I would get that LinkedIn really up to snuff, like really good. And I would put feelers. I don't believe in putting a lot out like, oh, I'm furloughed, because no one needs to know right now. But I would be chatting with every one of your contacts. I would be connecting with people. I would be hearing what's out there and what's available. I would then have one-on-one genuine conversations with some people, VPs at higher levels, regionals, owners. There's a lot of asset managers. There's going to be a lot of good talent available, I'm here to tell you, because some people that are furloughed may not come back because that business doesn't offset it, okay? But it doesn't mean you're not good. So there is going to be a lot of great talent out there. So my suggestion.
Great. So another question then from Eric. Cindy, as someone beginning in the industry that did not have a job in hospitality prior to quarantine, how would you recommend moving forward to begin finding work in the industry as we come out of it?
Okay, so Eric, way to go. First of all, being on this, and if you've graduated, way to go on that, and congratulations. So number one, you've got to make the connections, just like we're doing here. I mean, just when you look at, even the school and Timothy and Anthony and Lenny and all of us, and we've put our emails in there. I'm telling you, there's, 63 some people on this. Reach back out to Anthony and say, could I email some of these people? How can I connect? What groups can I get together with? There is organizations like, WIPA and HSMAI and many of these that are still very, very engaged and doing a lot for their members. So what you want to do is decide, and I'm not sure what part of the business that you're trying to get into, but you do want to decide what is that, limit it down. If I want to go into hotels versus casinos versus restaurants, then limit it down and then start talking to people. Who would be the best person I could talk to get a job? I want to be a GM someday. I want to be a sales director someday. I want to work in a casino. And those people, Vegas specifically is the closest, biggest little city we know, right? I mean, think about it. It's huge, but not so much. And everybody knows everyone, and there's no one that isn't going to help you get introduced, including all of us. I mean, Mary, she opened the Mandarin Oriental in Las Vegas when it was a Mandarin Oriental. Now it's a Waldorf Astoria, but she opened that hotel. I mean, all of us have connections, and there's not one of us that won't help you. It is about building your database of influencers, okay? Really important. Other one?
Yes, so this is from Elizabeth. As a person new to the industry who has not ever used Twitter or Facebook, where would be a good place to start as far as posting stuff without looking like much of a fool, especially as a person who may not have graduated yet, but is still a student?
Well, I love it. First of all, youth, just like us, just like me and Lenny, youth. So you're gonna want to absolutely start putting things. So if you've probably been on Instagram, because you said Facebook or Twitter, and so I'm thinking probably you've been on Instagram. So number one, you want to build your LinkedIn profile first, get that going right off the bat, because that's going to keep you connected. And I'm connected to a lot of young people on LinkedIn because it just keeps you in the groove. Lots of people are smart people out there helping out. Facebook, one of the things about Facebook you have to know is that our industry combines a lot of personal with professional. Travel advisors are all on Facebook as much as on Instagram. Event planners, meeting planners, wedding planners, many of them are on both. And people say to me all the time, well, should I show my dog and in the back? Yeah, you should. I mean, unless that you do something at night that you don't want anyone to know, you would keep that under a separate Facebook. But people want to see your face. They want to see you cooking. They want to see you doing some fun things. Just remember, you always have to be professional, but fun. You heard Mary say the ugly videos. If you want to show making a cocktail in your kitchen, trying to learn to do it, you spill something, it's okay. It's all right. As long as you are professional and you are fun, that's important. Now, Twitter, you can link some of these together, but Twitter is that's the quick update type of things. So you can link what you're putting on, Facebook right to Twitter as well. And that just gets to a whole nother group of people. But that's how I would start. And you won't look like any kind of fool, because what you'll look like is, hi, I'm Cindy, right? Or I'm Elizabeth, or, I'm going to show you how I make an apple pie. I mean, I should really try to make an apple pie. Something else.
Yeah, so from Andrea, she said, for those of us laid off, when do you believe the industry will be back and hiring again?
Okay, so if you're laid off, it is a little bit different, but they are going to be hiring, but it's not going to be like immediately. So, hopefully you got your unemployment and you're doing that, but you might be taking a job different than you left. And so you've got to have, again, the positive outlook of the future. As things slowly open, they are going to bring furloughed people back, but I'm here to tell you, there is a lot of executives that are looking at great talent. And this is where I believe in my heart that honestly, this has been a wake-up call for some, because some were entitled, some absolutely took advantage of just showing up every day, take this, take the order, get it through, do the deal, doesn't really matter. Some of those people are going to have a little bit of pushback. So you want to be present, you want to be out there. Different than the furloughed question, you do want to get that resume out. You want to get your LinkedIn up to snuff. You want to make sure that resume is totally engaging. You want to show the value. Remember, and I saw some people comment, I'm going to write my value proposition right now. Your value proposition is what you bring to an employer and the actions that you can do. I want you to network like crazy. And I want you to be willing. I would deliver garbage tomorrow if I needed to, and I might. I will go back to any job. I have taken jobs during my ups and downs through my career that I said to people at one point when I started this business many years ago, I quit my job as a director of sales and marketing with Westin Hotels. I had a company car. That's back when I had a country club membership. I mean, life was grand. And I quit, and my husband gave me a number, and he said, you got to bring this home every single month. And I was starting a brand new company. And this was at the beginning of mammograms. So I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to tell you that I went to work for a women's health clinic who sent me to Nordstrom's into the lingerie department where I taught women how to do self-exams. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My mother said to me, you're not even a doctor. I said, you don't have to be, Mom. I'm at Nordstrom, okay? I mean, if you sit back and say, I'm not going to be a server, I'm not going to be a bartender, no. You just say, I'll do what I got to do. And I promise you, you'll be fine.
I think that was it then for the questions. So thank you all. We're happy also to connect with you on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, and that can also give you some good examples to see what we're kind of posting and putting out there, because I see there was a lot of questions around that too.
Good, thank you. And back over to you, Anthony.
All right, thank you, Mary, and thank you, Cindy. So to close, I want to thank our TISOH community, including our students, alums, faculty, and many of our industry friends for your participation tonight.